This is Kugan Cassius for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're in Newcastle here, ahead of tomorrow night's show, live on Sky Sports and The Zone. I'm joined by Mr. Damian Chambers. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Thanks, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Had the press conference yesterday. Whenever I'm watching Alan Benj talk in a press conference, I think his opponent's probably baffled by what he's saying, as in like the context of it, and I'm sitting there thinking, talking about Vikings and savages. So what's going on in your head when you're listening to kind of Babic going into savage mode?
Yeah, you know, probably the same as what's going on in your head, but I expect him to be more in my face, to be fair. But yeah, there's still the waiting today, so you know it still could happen. But yeah, he was all right. To be fair, he was quite respectable and all that. So yeah, I just look forward to the rest of it now.
So talk to me about the process of how this fight came about on your side. Obviously, we know you're trained by Matthew Hatton and sat behind us, but how did that situation come about?
Well, we had a fight planned for the end of July in Latvia, so we was in camp for that anyway. Was going to start stepping it up, and the phone rang on Sunday saying, "Do I want to fight Alan Benj?" And I was a bit shocked, really, you know, because obviously he's a heavyweight and stuff like that. But yeah, we just jumped at him for, you know, I've got a fight coming anyway. So yeah, we just went ahead with it and agreed.
We were talking about this just off camera a few minutes ago, that you're a cruiserweight, and Babic, in certain people's eyes, is the biggest of heavyweights. So this technically is a cruiserweight fight, but it's being listed as a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a cruiserweight. I'm never going up to heavyweight. You know what I mean? It's just it's one of those things. I don't think anyone would fight him, and we got offered the fight, and you know he's a little bit heavier, but it's not going to change anything. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm always going to be a cruiserweight. I'm never going to be heavy. But I think it is classed as a heavyweight fight.
You've been pro, what, 4 years now?
Yeah, just under 4 years, I think. Yeah, I've been with Matt from my debut.
So only suffered the one defeat in your career to Mikhail Lowell. But aside from that, anything to grumble about in your career so far?
No, to be fair, I've had a good career so far. Ultimate boxer, didn't go my way. It was a good night. But the second fight took that much out of me, and then going into the final against Mikhail Lowell, good fighter anyway. But obviously, with no legs under me, it made it even harder. So, but yeah, I got beat by a good guy that night. The best man won. And I've had 2 fights since then. Won both of them, and one of them was a heavyweight himself. I think he came in at like 15 stone something. So yeah, I've fought a heavyweight, sparred heavyweights and stuff. So the only difference is there's not going to be no head guards and smaller gloves.
Remember the old prizefighter format where obviously the 3-minute rounds, obviously similar to what you were in, and you see a loss in your record, but it's probably hard to register it as a loss, because even though obviously you're competing in that tournament and you have to kind of take it for what it is if you do get beat, but it's not being based on kind of a full fight, so it's difficult to digest that you've suffered a loss, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really tough night. 3 fights in one night, you know what I mean? And I think I was on last all night, but if it weren't for that, I think I would have only had, I don't know, 3 less fights, kind of thing. But yeah, like it is what it is. You know, I got beat on that night. I fought three good kids that night. So yeah, it is what it is.
Listening to Eddie Hearn and Alan Benj talking at that press conference, that obviously there's an indication of there was a few opponents before yourself that were put to Alan before this, and he wanted someone that would come and fight. So I suppose there's a compliment in there to you that they're regarding kind of yourself as the person that's coming there, not just to kind of make up numbers. You're coming there to win.
Well, yeah, you know, I've not come to sit on my arse, you know what I mean? And I've come to fight and I've come to win, you know. It's not gonna be an easy night for him. A lot of people are thinking, you know, I'm coming in there, getting paid and going home, but I'm coming to win, you know what I mean?
What have you made of Alan Benj as a professional heavyweight? Like I said, he's had he's critics, people saying that he's too small as a heavyweight, but all the questions he's been asked of him in his 6 fights or so, he's answered them. But what have you kind of made of him?
I've watched him in the past, watched him on YouTube, watched all his shows live as well. I think he's a good boxer. He's got the skills, and he comes forward just throwing just non-stop, you know what I mean? He's an all-round good boxer, I reckon, a strong lad. So yeah, it's not going to be an easy night, But like I say, I've come for the win.
What does a win over Alan Benj on Saturday night do for your career?
Well, it's on a big platform. There's some good fights on the show. Obviously, it's my first matchroom show. So yeah, obviously it's going to do a lot for my career. He's a big name, Alan Babic. Everyone knows him for his relentless pressure attacks. So yeah, it's going to platform, putting me on a good platform like this for a win could rocket me for big fights, big titles, you know. So yeah, it's a good platform to be on.
Let's finish off by talking about that cruiserweight division, because when you take Lawrence Coley, who's only recently won a world title, out of the equation of just through what he's achieved, the division seems domestically very wide open. It has always been that kind of division in the UK, where everyone's around the sort of similar-ish level. Anyone's capable of beating one another. Is that the way it is in that division?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, like the top 15 in the country, they're all good fighters, I reckon. But yeah, we have been offered fights in the past, but I've just not had my medical done. I got my medical done a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it was all everything came back all good. So that's why we took this fight. And we got offered that Chris Smith a few weeks on his last fight. I think it was like 2 weeks' notice, you know, for a 12-round fight. It wasn't enough time. This is a 6-round fight against a guy that it can be beat, but I've just got to be on the A game, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, the cruiserweight division is really good, I reckon, at the minute.
Well, Damian, I appreciate you giving IFL TV some of your time this morning. You're weighing in a few hours. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we finish?
No, good mate, good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and best of luck on Saturday night.